I wrote off title. I will edit later. Okay.
Okay.
It is live.
Okay, sure.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble. Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shivani from Ashram, Virginia. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for your association. Please accept my humble obeisances or glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. And with that, we will start our class for today by Her Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji. Mataji, we are so fortunate to hear from you. Please grace us by your wonderful words and give us lessons from Caitanya Bhagavata. Mataji, it is all yours. Please take over. Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Anuradha Mataji. I don't know what I will speak, but whatever Gurudev will inspire will come out from my mouth. So I really pray to each and every one of you to please shower your blessings, your wishes, your prayers, so that I can speak something relevant to the subject matter. And I'm really, really very grateful to each and every one of you to share your invaluable time with all of us to hear and showing some enthusiasm, some interest in hearing Sri Caitanya Bhagavata. So really grateful and indebted to each and every one of you. Bow down to each and every one of you. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhu vaevacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrindi ki jai. Before I start, I'll ask forgiveness because, I have some sore throat. So in between, I will be coughing. So please, please ignore that. But I really want to serve it. So therefore, I took up this as a service. But unfortunately, some problems do come, but we accept it still as Krishna's mercy. Okay, so we'll start without any further delay. So this is our Caitanya Bhagavata. We'll start with the invocation prayers and then we'll go with the verses. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam. Vande Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sarvadeutam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya. Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vācālum pangum langāyate girim yat kripaha tamaham vande Shri Guru Dīnatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Guruve Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Anand Leela Maya Vigrahaya Hema Bhadevya Chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandra Jayati Jayati Kirti Stasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Bhritya Stasya Vishveshvamurte Jayati Jayati Nrityam Tasya Sarva Priyana. Hare Krishna. So I'll just share my screen of Caitanya Bhagavata. Just let me know if you all can see the screen.
Yes, Mataji.
Good. So I think so. We have to start from verse number 180 or 181. Okay, we'll do with 180 because it is connected, and then we'll move forward. Ki kahiba prithvira ananda prakasha tumi nritya kari bemiliya sarvadasha. Chaitanya Bhagavat, chapter 2, verse number 180. Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying, how can we describe the happiness that this earth planet will enjoy when you dance along with your servants? Right? So the context, let's understand the context of this verse. So we all know that Vrindavan Das Thakur is describing, has yet not reached to the exact point of describing the appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his childhood pastimes. But back and forth he's moving and he's describing that, yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the king of the kingdom called Kali Yuga, right? So he went on describing that, seeing the condition of the people of Navadvip, how the jewel, the crest jewel among all the devotees, who was Agraganyam, who was Advaita Acharya, how he intensely prayed to his Nrsimha Shaligram Shila, and he prayed for the advent of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Krishna personally appeared in front of Advaita Acharya and told that he will appear in this dark age of Kali Yuga and he'll start his Sankirtana movement, and everybody will get a chance to participate in it. So after describing of all these things, and then Vrindavan Das Thakur describes that who is that Krishna? He is the one who is going to come and incarnate into various other incarnations. And then he starts describing about Matsya Avatar, about Kurma Avatar, and Hayagriva, then Vamana, Narsimha, then Parshuram, Buddha. And then he said, but in this Kali Yuga, which will be the start of Kali Yuga, Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna actually will come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the golden form, and he will inaugurate this Sankirtan movement. Right? So that's what he says in the previous verses. And what will happen? The whole world will be filled with the sound of Sankirtan, and pure devotional service will be preached from house to house. So he's describing that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come. But in the later part of Kali Yuga, when Kali Yuga will be in its extreme, which is still, I think, so 400,000, 4 million, right? 428,000 years is still left for that peak of Kali Yuga to come. It's only 5,000 that has been passed. So, but he said that this Mahaprabhu, Krishna will come as Mahaprabhu, and it will be a Channa avatar. It will be a incognito, like everybody will not know him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But what he will do, he will start this Sankirtan movement. And then he says that after starting that Sankirtan movement, which will be preached in every house to house, door to door, and that's what we are seeing now. So he's saying, at that time, Ki kahiba prithvira ananda prakasha. What can I describe the fortune of this Mother Earth? How can I describe the fortune or the happiness of this Mother Earth? Because then when he'll come and start and inaugurate that Sankirtan, movement, what he will do, he will also dance along with his servants. Tumi nritya kariba miliya sarvadash. With all your associates, you will dance and you will inaugurate Kirtan movement. So we all know that before taking sannyas, after coming from Gaya and taking initiation Ishvara Puripad, how Lord Chaitanya, he got literally transformed. And every night he would used to do this Sankirtan at the house of Thakur in Shiva's Angan, right? He would dance. And the doors will be locked. Only the close associates will be allowed to participate in that Sankirtan. Now, this is before sannyas. So before sannyas only, this entire Mahaprakash Leela also happened. That will be described in Caitanya Bhagavata later on by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. But after taking sannyas, after renouncing the Grahastha ashram, then what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took the entire Sankirtan movement onto the roads, onto the streets. So he was dancing on the streets of Navadvip. He was dancing not only in Navadvip, but he went to Vrindavan, he went to the South India Yatra. So he went practically all over India. And he danced and he blessed Mother Earth, right? And in the invocation prayers also we read, right? Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandra Jayati Jayati Kirti Stasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Bhrityas. All glories to your servants. Tasya Vishveshva Murter Jayati Jayati Nrityam. All glories to your dancing, Mahaprabhu. Tasya Sarva Priyanam. It is very, very dear, very, very priya, very, very dear to everyone. Your dance is so good. It's so beautiful. It is glorious. Right? So this way Vrindavan Das Thakur is praying. Text 181. ये तो मारा पाद पद्मा नित्य ध्यान करे ताना sabara prabhave amangala hare. So what he's saying, that the mere presence of those who constantly meditate on your lotus feet vanquishes all inauspiciousness. So the mere presence of those who constantly meditate on your lotus feet vanquishes all inauspiciousness. ये तुम्हारा पाद पद्मा नित्य ध्यान करे. Those who meditate on your lotus feet, those lotus feet who are dancing on Mother Earth. उसका प्रभाव तब सबरा प्रभावे, the prabhav of meditating on on your lotus feet, what it happens is amangala hare. It vanquishes all the inauspiciousness. Mangal means auspiciousness. When we chant the Mangala prayers, we invoke the auspiciousness, right? Amangala is inauspiciousness. So it vanquishes all. Hare. Hare means to take away. Hari Shabda Nana Arte Dui Mukhyatam Tava Amangal Hare Sarvadiye Premadan. So it takes away all the inauspiciousness. Those who meditate on your lotus feet. Very, very beautiful purport by His Divine Grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Each of the every Lord, Supreme Lord's incarnations preach and benefit some particular persons. Yes, we know that Lord Narsingadev came to protect Prahlad Maharaj. Vamanadev came for a specific reason, so that the demigods are established in the position, and because Bali Maharaj has overtaken everything. So just to teach lesson to Bali Maharaj and giving back to the entire heavenly planets, back to all the demigods. That was the purpose. Matsya Avatar came, Kurma Avatar, everything came for the real, for a specific purpose. But Mahaprabhu's incarnation is actually for the purpose, but it is the purpose for the entire community, for the entire living entities. It is not only for some specific people or a specific group of people, but it is for everybody. entire world. You will, by taking your incarnation as Gauranga, you will benefit the entire world by inaugurating the process of Kirtan. You will dance with innumerable servants and make the entire world jubilant. So this entire world will be jubilant. We all know the characteristics of this world is given in Bhagavad Gita. Anyone knows what is the characteristics of this world which is described in Bhagavad Gita? Anybody wants to unmute and say?
Dukhalayam ashashvatam.
Very good. It's Dukhalayam ashashvatam. That is this given, that it is Dukhalaya. It is the place of misery. And it is ashashvatam. It is also temporary. That is being given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Every place in this material, basically this entire world is Dukhalayam ashashvatam. But our dearmost Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati says that for devotees, it is not Dukhalayam ashashvatam, rather it is Sukhalayam. It is not Dukhalayam, it is Sukhalayam. And Vrindavan Das Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur quotes this very, very beautiful verse from Chaitanya Chandramrita, which is by Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur. This verse is often, very, very often quoted by Srila Prabhupada in various of his lectures. And if you have gone through the purports of Srimad Bhagavatam, then you would have come across this very beautiful verse. Prabhupada often quoted in the purports of Srimad Bhagavatam also. Kaivalyam narakayate tridasa pura kasha pushpayate durdantendriya kala sarpa patali prokta damshrayate vishvam purna sukhayate vidhi mahendriyadis chakitayate yat karuna kataksha vaibhavatam tab gaurav evastunaha. So what he says is Kaivalyam narakayate. Now, in this, Prabodhananda Saraswati is describing the position, the mentality of three transcendentalists. We all know that there are transcendentalists, means those who know that this material world is not worth living. And they are karma yogis, they are jnana yogis, and they are dhyana yogis. Okay. Yes, even the karma yogis are also sometimes regarded as transcendentalists because their attainment, their desire is to go to heavenly planets. So these three types of transcendentalists have been described. So Kaivalyam is the goal of Gyanis, right? The Gyanis, they want to merge into the Supreme Brahman, right? That's what their desire is. That's what their aspiration is. They want to become Kaivalyam. Attain Kaivalya means becoming oneness with the Supreme Lord. Devotees don't regard that as the highest goal of perfection, but the Jnanis, their aspiration is Kaivalyam, is to become one with the Supreme Lord. So Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur is saying that this Kaivalyam, which is actually the goal for the Jnanis, is compared to Narak. Narak means hell, is compared to the hellish planets for the devotees, right? Is compared to the hellish. So that Kaivalyam, which is the goal of the Jnanis, is considered to be the hellish planet, is considered to be a hell. Being in oneness with the Supreme Lord is compared to, is as if suffering in the hell by the devotees. Next he's saying, Tridasapura Akasha Pushpayate. Now, Tridashapur. 3 means 3. Dasha means 10. That comes out to be 30. Pura means the place. Now, here the catch is it's 30 and then comes the Pur, the place, where 30 demigods. But Prabhupada, I've come across a lot of places, Prabhupada says that Pur is actually 33 million demigods. That is the actual meaning of 3 Dasha. So 3 Dashapur is the place where 33 million demigods, they stay, right? Pur means the place. So whose ultimate goal is to attain that heavenly planets is karmis. The karmis, the karma yogis, they want to achieve this 3 Dashapur to attain the heavenly planets, right? Swargavas. They want to have attain the heavenly planets. But for devotees, what Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur is saying, that this attainment of the heavenly planets is Akasha Pushpayate. Akash Pushpayate means a flower in the sky. So what Prabhupada says, it is phantasmagoria. Phantasmagoria means something which is imaginary. Can you ever imagine a flower in the sky? The flowers are normally on the ground, right? They are on the ground. But flower in the sky means something very, very imaginary. So the ultimate goal for the karma yogis is to attain these heavenly planets. But for devotees, it is just so imaginary because they know that this Swarga, this heavenly planet is also material. It's also going to diminish, be destroyed over the period of time. And what's the use of going to that heavenly planets? There you will just spend all your credits and then you have to come back. So what's the use of going? It's just an imaginary world. That's what Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur is saying. Tridashapura is Akash Pushpayate. It is phantasmagoria. It is like just an imaginary thing, taking a flower in the sky. It doesn't work. Durdantendriya Kala Sarpa Patali Prokta Damshrayate. Indriyas are the senses. Durdan, it is very, very, the senses, how the senses are, it is uncontrollable. Because for uncontrolled senses, the senses, they run in different directions and they distract the mind. That's what happens. So he's saying that these senses, they are like a Kala Sarpa. Sarpa means the snake. And Kala Sarpa are those who are very, very venomous, right? Kala also refers to death. So those serpents who has a very, very poisonous substance in them, they're venomous, that as soon as if they touch any part of the body, it will cause death. So Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur is saying that such senses, those uncontrolled senses, are compared to as Kala Sarpa. They are very, very dangerous because when the sense run in a particular direction, it may cause to the death, not the death of the material body, but death of our spirituality, right? Suppose especially the desire for the sex impulse, which is the most dangerous, if somebody has that desire, may go out of the marriage and perform nonsense stuff. So which is actually the death of one's own spiritual life. Right? So he's saying that such senses, when they run in different directions, to an extent when they are uncontrolled, they are like Kala Sarpa. They are like death. The snakes personified as death, right? Because that brings the death of our spirituality. But the devotees, however, they don't consider these indriyas as Kala Sarpa. Right? They don't consider. Why? For them is Prokta Damshrayate. Prokta means to take out. To take out. And Damshrayate means teeth. For them, these indriyas, the senses, are, yes, they are compared to a snake, the venomous snake, but to those venomous snakes whose teeth have been extracted. Prokta means to take out or to extract, and Damshrayate, we all know the teeth. So for devotees, these indriyas, they are not considered as Kala Sarpa. They are considered as Sarpa. Definitely they are the serpents, but they are those serpents whose venomous poison means those teeth have been taken out. So when the poisonous snake is in front of you and the teeth, and you know that the poison, everything is being taken out. So you know what harm that snake can do to you. Nothing, because that snake is just like now a play toy. Why? Because it's no more venomous, it's no more death personified, and it can provide no harm to you because that venom has been taken out from that snake. So for devotees, the indriyas, they are not Kala Sarpa, right? But they are Sarpa, but their teeth has been taken out. For them, it doesn't matter. As Rupa Goswami also says, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha Yukta Vairagya Muchyate. For devotees, even if there are desires of the senses, they want to use it for Krishna's pleasure. If somebody has really, any impulse of any sense, they want to use Krishna's service. So that is what is Yukta Vairagya described. So for devotees, the senses, the desire of the senses is also not a problem. Why? Because they use it in Krishna's service. If somebody is really fond of singing, they want to sing Krishna's bhajans, they want to sing Krishna songs, Vaishnava songs. If somebody is fond of dancing, then yes, we should dance it for Krishna. And so then Prabodhananda Saraswati continues, and for them what happens? Vishva Purna Sukhayate. So the same Vishva, the same world, which is Dukhalayama Shashvatam, now it has become Purna Sukhayate. That same place, the same material world becomes the place of happiness for the devotees. And for them, Vidhi Mahendryadis Chakitayate. And for them, the position of Vidhi means Lord Brahma. Mahendra refers to Lord Shiva, and Adi means the etc., means all other demigods. So for them, the position of being a Brahma or Lord Shiva or any other demigods is Kitayat, is just like taking a position of an insect. So we all know that we all jivas have this eligibility to become Brahma, right? And right from Brahma to an insignificant ant, everything is perishable, like everything gets destroyed. Even the position of Brahma is not that of, like he's even not immortal. So what Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur is saying, that for devotee, it doesn't matter whether they become a Brahma or an insignificant ant, right? They know that everything is same. But how does it all happen? That's the key point. When the devotees consider the oneness with the Supreme Lord as the hellish planets, when they consider the attainment of heavenly planets as something imaginary, as something, a flower in the sky, when these indriyas, which are so uncontrolled, when the senses which are so uncontrolled, for devotees it doesn't matter, because for them the venom of that serpent has been taken out, right? And this entire world, which is Dukhalayama Shashvatam, becomes Vishva Purna Sukhayate, becomes Sukhalayam for the devotees. When does it all happens? The last key line that Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur says is Yad Karunaya Katakshvaivutam Tam Gaura Evastama. It only happens when that devotee receives or becomes the recipient of the sidelong glance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then all these things happens. Before that, even this place becomes Dukhalayam, but this place becomes Sukhalayam when one devotee, when one person receives, becomes the recipient of the sidelong glance, Karuna Kataksha, the merciful glance of Lord Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So then this entire world becomes the place of happiness, the place of joy. See, the devotees, it doesn't matter. Even if they are in this world, they know that they are not of this world, right? They are in this world, they always take the opportunity, as Prabhupada says, that make the best use of bad bargain. Yes, we know that we are in a place, we know that we are in a place where, this place is not worth living. But for devotees, they make this place worth living. Why? Because they always engaged in the service of Lord Sri Krishna. So when we are engaged in the service of Lord Sri Krishna, every moment we are thinking, Krishna, how can I absorb this moment in Krishna's service? And when you are absorbed in Krishna's service, it is always blissful. There is no pain in Krishna's service, right? There is no pain in Krishna's service. So everything becomes blissful. So this only happens when one becomes the recipient of the sidelong glance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let's read the translation. For a devotee who has received Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's merciful glance, Kaivalya, that is merging into the existence of Brahman, appears hellish. The heavenly planets appear like phantasmagoria. The senses appears like serpents with broken teeth, so they are no more harmful. The entire world becomes a replica of Vaikuntha, and the position of demigods headed by Lord Brahma and Lord Indra. I said Mahendra. Mahendra is actually not Lord Shiva, because Mahendra is Indra actually. I'm so sorry, please forgive me for that. Definitely no Jiva can take a position of Lord Shiva. But here, Vidhi Mahendra Adis means the demigods. That is Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Chakitayate is considered equal to that of a tiny insect. So how important it is that we should all worship Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we should aspire for his sidelong glance. Next, text 182. Padatale khande prithvira amangala drishti matra dasha dikha hayasu nirmala. As such persons dance, the touch of their lotus feet destroys all the inauspiciousness of the world. By their glance, the 10 directions are purified. So when the servants or when the associates of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or when the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dance, then what happened? When they dance, their lotus feet touch the earth. And as soon as their lotus feet touch the earth, the entire inauspiciousness of the world is destroyed. And just by their glance, the 10 directions are purified. Text 183. Bahutuli nachite swargera vignanasha hina yasha hina nritya hina toradasha. Such are your glories, such is the dancing, and such are your servants, that when they dance with their arms raised, the disturbances in the heavenly planets are destroyed. So here, Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying that when the devotees dance with their hand raised, so what happened? Not only the inauspiciousness of this world, but also the inauspiciousness, the disturbances in the heavenly planets are also destroyed. So how important it is that we should dance in Kirtan. Such are your glories, such as the dancing, and your servants when they dance with their arm raised. This temporary world is full of threefold miseries. We all know Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik, and Adhyatmik. Uninterrupted happiness is not found in the heavenly planets. In the course of enjoying heavenly pleasure, there are two impediments: aversion to the Supreme Lord due to sense gratification, and being deprived of heavenly planets, pleasures achieved through pious activities by the demons. When the demigods who reside on the heavenly planets raise their arms and happily dance with a desire to serve Lord Vishnu, the fallible heavenly planets no longer remain hated. The characteristics of Krishna's devotees are like those of the demigods, except that the devotees are freed from the material desires. Such devotees of Krishna, when they raise their arms and dance in ecstasy, the heroic activities of the Supreme Lord are spotless and bestow all auspiciousness. The devotees of the Supreme Lord, those possess such extraordinary qualities. The word hena means this type or this kind. So, what His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is saying, that how important it is to dance. The key point is to dance in the Sankirtan, right? And let's see, Prabhupada is also quoting, this Vrindavan Das Thakur is also quoting from Hari Bhakti Shodaya. Padpyam bhurma desho Drikbhayam Dorbhayam Cha Mangalam Devaha Bahu Dostade Rajan Krishna Bhaktasya Nrityaha. My dear king, when Krishna's devotees dance and kirtan, they destroy the inauspiciousness of the earth by the touch of their feet. Not only of the earth, but in the previous verse we read that how even the disturbances in the heavenly planets is also destroyed. The directions just the directions. Also, they purify all the 10 directions by their glands. So when they dance, they look here and there. And this way, the 10 directions are purified. And the higher planetary systems are also gets purified when they dance with an upraised arms. So this is the verse that is found in the Padma Puran in the Hari Bhakti Shuddha 20.68. So now here the point comes that when our movement is chanting, dancing, and feasting. That's what our movement is for. So when it comes to kirtan, when it comes to the chanting, congregationally chanting of the holy name, one should chant in the mood of praying for the Lord. That's how it is recommended. His Holiness Sri Sachinandan Swami Maharaj used to say that when there is a call and response in kirtan, when the kirtanier is singing and there is a call and then all the devotees respond. So that call and response in the kirtan doesn't mean the repetition of certain words. It looks like externally it seems that we are simply repeating. And for an hours and hours and hours, we are simply repeating that one mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, right? But Maharaj was telling that, it is not something, the repetition, we should not understand. Rather, when there is a call and response in the kirtan, then we should do it in the mood of calling on to the Supreme Lord's, right? Calling on to the Supreme Lord's mercy. It's a prayer that we are calling out for the Supreme Lord, right? It should be in the prayerful mood, not just shouting and, or loudly chanting. Yes, it is important, but that loud chanting is important, but it should come directly from the heart. And it should come in the mood, in the proper mood that we have to set up is for the prayer for the Supreme Lord. Similarly, when it comes to dancing, some people are literally shy of dancing, but that should not be the case. Dancing is the important limb of devotional service. But this dancing should also come from the heart, right? So when our heart becomes so full by hearing the glories, by hearing the chanting of the holy name, especially in the congregational chanting, especially in the kirtan, we don't feel like sitting. Some emotions develop, right? We don't feel like sitting. And even if we are sitting, we want to just sway around, right, with our arms raised. But the point is that we should get up at that point. We should leave our shyness and we should dance. It's so important to dance in kirtan. That's what is being said. But now here dancing also has a certain thing. When it comes to dancing, we should not dance in a mood of showing our different steps. We know that, this is the way to dance. That should not be the mood. Again, dancing should be in a proper mood of calling out to Krishna's mercy. And especially the dancing which is done with our hands raised. So even for the Prabhus, there is a proper way, the dance should be. And even for Matajis, the dance should not look weird. It should be a proper way. Like for Prabhus, it is recommended to do that Swami step, right? But with your arms raised. And even for Matajis, the Vaishnavis, that the dancing should be proper, it should not look vulgar, but it should be so much synchronized. And especially the mood in which we are dancing, that lays a lot of importance, that how we should dance in that mood. In this regard, I just want to... I think so in Nectar of Devotion, let me just open that what is the importance, like I was telling, that even for dancing is actually the important limb of devotional service. So I'm not just saying whimsically, I just want to bring it to the point where in the Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada has written the importance of dancing. I think so. No, this is not the... Yeah, further consideration of devotional service. Yes, Let's read this. I hope you all can see the share. Dancing before the deity. In the Dwarka Mahatmya, the importance of dancing before the deity is stated by Lord Krishna as follows. A person who is in a jubilant spirit, it has to come from inside. It has to come from the heart. That spirit should be there. Who feels profound devotional ecstasy while dancing before me, and who manifests different features of bodily expression, can burn away all the accumulated sinful reactions he has stocked up for many, many thousands of years. So just see, just dancing before the deity, you can burn all the accumulated sinful reactions that we have stocked up for many, many years. And there is also, in the same book, there is a statement by Narad Muni, and what he says, that from the body of any person who claps and dances before the deity, how important it is to clap and dance before the deity, showing manifestations of ecstasy, all the birds of sinful activities fly away upward. Just as by clapping the hands, one can cause many birds to fly away. Similarly, the birds of all sinful activities which are sitting on the body can be made to fly away simply by dancing and clapping before the deity of Krishna. So beautiful, right? So we all know that when a tree is there and so many birds are sitting on the tree and you just clap, you know, all the birds, they just fly away because of the fear of being caught. Similarly, when we dance in Kirtan or when we clap our hands in the Kirtan, all the anarthas that are just sitting on the body, on the tree of our body, all the anarthas, the birds that are sitting on the tree of our body, then as soon as we clap, all the anarthas, they just leave our body, right? All the reactions of our sinful activities which we have accumulated from past many, many lifetimes, all those anarthas will be destroyed. So how important it is to dance before the deity. So this is quoted by Prabhupada, by Rupa Goswami actually in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So how important it is that we should dance. We should not feel shy in front of Krishna. We should not feel, oh, somebody is seeing me, you know, what comments they will pass. We are not dancing for someone. Rather, we are dancing for Krishna, to attract Krishna and be the recipient of Krishna's causeless mercy. So how important it is to dance before the deity. And that's going to help us only. Okay. Moving on to the verse 185 and 186. Say, Prabhu, that will be the last verse for today. Say, Prabhu, apane tumi sakshat haiya, karibe kirtana prema bhakta goshti laiya. E mahima Prabhu vanri bara kar shakti, tumi valai veda gopya Vishnu bhakti. O Lord, you will personally appear and perform kirtan with your pure devotees. Say, Prabhu, apane tumi sakshat haiya. You yourself will come. So all the incarnations, they are considered to be as avatar, but our Krishna is avatari. So similarly, Gauranga Mahaprabhu is also avatari because he is Sakshat Krishna. Kariba Kirtana Prema Bhakti Goshti Laya. And when you will take your entire entourage of devotees, you will dance in Kirtan. O Lord, who has the power to describe your glories? You will distribute devotional service to Lord Vishnu that is unknown through the Vedas. So all the Vedas also doesn't describe the ultimate goal, which is the devotional service unto the Supreme Lord. Krishna says, Vedam sarver aham eva vedyo. Right, the conclusion, the essence of all the Vedas is to know Krishna. Right, but still all the Vedas doesn't describe the pure devotional service, the Krishna prem. It's not bestowed by the Vedas. This has been bestowed only by Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who's going to incarnate in this Kali Yuga. That's what Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying. So he quotes a very beautiful verse, which we all know, but we'll just go a little deep into this verse and then we will end our session. Anarpitam charim chirat karunayavatirna kalau samarpaitumunnatajvala rasam svabhakti shriyam haripurata sundara kadamba sandipitaha sada hridaya kandare spuratuva Shri Sachinandana. So we all know from Chaitanya Charitamrita that yes, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami has quoted this verse in his Adi Leela 2 times, in Madhya Leela, and also in his Ante Leela. But actually, this verse was composed by Srila Rupa Goswami. So we all know that Rupa Goswami has written 2 Natakas, that is Vidakta Madhava Nataka and Lalita Madhava Nataka. Vidakta Madhava Nataka described the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna and the gopis in Vrindavan, whereas Lalita Madhava Nataka described the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna outside Vrindavan, that is Dwarka pastimes. So when he was writing in his Vidakta Madhava Nataka, which is the pastimes of Krishna and all the gopis in Vrindavan, at that time he quoted this verse. He wrote this verse as his introductory words, or you can say the Nandi Shloka. So whenever any person, he writes a books, he writes some invocation prayers, that Mangalacharan verses, right? And in the Mangalacharan verses, one of the key point is that you have to glorify your Ishtadev, right? So Ramananda Rai was asking Rupa Goswami that you have to tell me, okay, just give us the words that you quote in your Vidagdha Madhava Nataka, which describes your Ishtadev. And who is the Ishtadev of Rupa Goswami? Is none other than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he quotes this verse, Anarpitam charim chirat karunayavatirna kalo. I recommend everybody should memorize this verse. It's a very beautiful meditation on Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that describes the identity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So let's dive little deep into this verse and then we'll end up. So Sachinandana. Rupa Goswami uses the word Sachinandana. So Sachi means Mother Shachi and Nandana means the son of Mother Shachi. Now someone can ask that why Rupa Goswami used the word Sachinandana? He could have used Gauranga, Vishwambhara and Gaura Hari. There are so many names of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but why specifically Sachinandana? So we should understand that Krishna has 2 types of names. One is his Gaunanam and one is his Mukhyanam. So Mukhyanam are the primary names of Lord Shri Krishna and Gaunanam are the secondary names, right? Mukhyanam are those names that reminds Krishna of his devotees or which are in connection with Lord Shri Krishna's devotees. They are the Mukhyanam. For example, Yashoda Nandana, son of Mother Yashoda, Devaki Nandana, son of Mother Devaki, right? So these are some of his Mukhyanam, Nandanandana, Vasudeva Nandana. So these are the Mukhyanam, or we can say Arjuna Sakha, Subala Sakha. These are Krishna's Mukhyanam because that reminds Krishna of his devotees. It's not that Krishna ever forgets his devotees, never it happens. But it also gives an importance of Krishna's devotees, how important Krishna's devotees. So Krishna feels happy when we glorify Krishna's devotees. So when these are some Mukhyanams, when we chant Krishna's Mukhyanam, he becomes more pleased. He adds on to the special favor of his mercy. Whereas the secondary names or the Gaunanam are also equally potent. It's not that potency-wise there is difference. Or if we just call out, for example, Jagatpate or, Karuna Sindhu or Deen Dayal, if we call out with such names that Krishna will not listen, or Jagdish or Jagdishwara, if we call out these names, it's not that Krishna is not going to hear, because Krishna knows that we are calling out to him. But when we call out Krishna with his Mukhyanam, with his primary names, he feels little obliged. because we are including his pure devotees also. So, a little tinge of extra flavor of mercy is being given, is been bestowed by Lord Shri Krishna. We all know in the Mangalacharan prayers also we recite, right? Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Deena Bandhu, Jagatpate. So what is this? These are all Gauna. These are all secondary names, like Karuna Sindhu, Deena Bandhu, Jagatpate. These are all secondary names. But then we say Gopesha, right? The master of all the gopas, or the master of all the cows. So this adds to his primary names. Then Gopika Kanta, right? This also adds to the primary name. Then Radha Kanta. Then it's little more intimate. So that's how important it is to chant Krishna's Mukhya Nam, or the primary names. So therefore, Rupa Goswami uses the word Shachi Nandana, so that Krishna has been reminded of his mother, and his mother Shachi. So then he says, who is Shachi Nandana? He is Hari. Right? You see the word Hari? He is Hari. So Hari means, what is the meaning of Hari? Just now we recited one verse. Hari Shabda, Nana Arthe. There are many meanings of Hari, but the main meaning of Hari is to harlena, is to steal. Right? We all know that Krishna is Chaura Agraganyam. He is the biggest thief. He is the biggest stealer. Right? What is that verse that Bilva Mangal Thakur writes? Chaurashtakam we normally sing. Vraje prasida navanita chaura Gopangananam cha dukula chauram Aneka janmar jita papa chauram Agraganyam purusham namami. Thakur is saying that he is Vraje Prasidam. He is famous in Vraja as Navanita Chaura, as to steal the butter. Navanit means to butter. So he steals the butter. He is famous in Vraja as butter thief. Gopan Gananam Chadukula Chauram. And he steals the clothes of all the gopis. And not only that, Aneka Janmar Jitapapa Chauram. For past so many lifetimes, Arjita, I have collected, I have accumulated, Papa, I have accumulated sins. I've worked so hard for past so many lifetimes of accumulating mountains of sins. Aneka Janmar Jitapapa Chauram. I have collected entire, past so many lifetimes, I have accumulated those sins. I've made a mountain of those sins with so much effort. I've collected, but immediately when Krishna comes, he just takes away. He just steals those sins also that I have accumulated for past so many lifetimes. For so many lifetimes that I have accumulated, Krishna just comes and he steals away those sins. Chaura agraganyam purusham namami. So Bilva Mangal Thakur is saying, therefore I bow down to that agraganyam, that first class thief. I bow down to him. So Hari means a stealer. But here, Hari also refers to lion. Right? Hari also means lion. Why? Because we all know. Jayo Nara Hari, Jayo Nara Hari, Jayo Nara Hari, Jayo Nara Hari. Who is Nara Hari? Lord Nrsingadev. So Nara means the human. That Nrsingadev who came as Nara Hari, who came as half man, half lion. So Hari also means lion. So here, Rupa Goswami is saying that that Sachi Nandana is Hari. So here, Hari, he is comparing is as lion, right? Because why Mahaprabhu is lion? So he gives many reasons. Actually, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he gives many reasons in his Chaitanya Charitamrita. I can show you a few reasons if you all want. The verse is actually Chaitanya Simhera Navadvip Avatara Simha Griva Simha Virya Simhera Hunkara. So he gives various reasons. One of the reasons is that he has a long hairs. Mahaprabhu, before taking sannyas, he has a long hairs. So those long hairs are compared to the hairs, the mane of that lion, which extends down on his shoulders. Another reason why he's compared to as lion is because of his complexion. As the lion is also golden, our Mahaprabhu is also golden. Another reason that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gives is that just like lion has a broad chest but a thin waist, so our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also has a broad chest and a waist. So very beautiful physique as that of a lion. Another reason is also given that he was born in the Simha Rashi, that a Leo constellation. And that's why also he is regarded as Hari, Gaura Hari. And the last, which is the foremost reason that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying is Simha Hunkara, that he roars like a lion. He roars like a lion. His Sankirtan is so loud that he roars like a lion, and therefore he is known as Gaura, the golden lion. So we all know that what happened when in the jungle, the lion roars. What happens? All the elephants or all the animals that are sitting in the caves, they just flee away, just hearing the roar of the lion because of the fear, right? Similarly, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is sitting in our heart, and when he roars, then all the anarthas, all the sinful reactions, they just flee away with the roar of that lion. So therefore, Rupa Goswami regard him as Hari, as a golden incarnation of the Supreme Lord, the golden lion, Gaura Hari. And how he is Purata, he is golden. Purata means gold. Sundara, Sundara means beautiful. Dviti means complexion, right? So he has a complexion of that gold, which is very, very beautiful. But is it an ordinary gold? No. It says Kadamba Sandipitaha. It's compared not in a normal gold, but it's a molten gold, right? The complexion of Mahaprabhu is molten gold. So we all know when the gold is melted, when the gold is comes in contact with the heat, right? When the gold comes in the contact with the heat, it becomes a molten gold, a melted gold, right? Now, the molten gold is much more effulgent, much more shinier, much more brighter than compared to the normal gold. So here, Rupa Goswami is saying that Hari, that golden lion, the golden form of Lord Gauranga, is not that of an ordinary gold. It is molten gold. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, right? That's because our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is exposed to the heat. Externally, he is exposed to the heat of Sankirtan, because he wants to distribute this Sankirtan to far and wide in this entire world. And internally, he is exposed to the heat of Srimati Radharani's separation in his Radha Bhav, right? That's what Mahaprabhu comes in separation of Lord Shri Krishna, in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Right? So internally he is exposed to the heat of separation, and externally he is exposed to the heat of Sankirtan. So therefore his complexion is not just gold, but it is molten gold, right? Which is much more effulgent and brighter and shiner. So Hari Purata Sundara Dviti Kadamba Sandipataha, that is the identity, the complexion of Mahaprabhu that is being described. Okay. Then Rupa Goswami says, what the purpose, when he appeared? Then he says, Kalau. He appeared in Kali Yuga, right? Kalau. Kalau means in Kali Yuga. That is the time when our Mahaprabhu appears. And how? Karunavatirana, and his incarnation, his avatar, his taking incarnation in this material world is a merciful incarnation. He's very, very magnanimous. Why? Because he is not considering any offenses. Gauranam, Gauradham, Gauragunaru, Aparadhe mane nahi tare re nipun. The names of chanting of Lord Shri Krishna, we have so many offenses. Every day morning we chant those 10 offenses. There are so many offenses while chanting Krishna's name. But Gauranam, Gauraru, and Gauradham, describing Gauranga's glories, chanting Gaura's name, and going to Gaura's abode. Doesn't take any offenses, doesn't consider any offenses. Rather, as soon as you chant these names, you will get Prema Bhakti, you will get Krishna Bhakti. That's what is, he is magnanimous, he's so merciful, he's Audarya, he's so merciful, he's Karunayavatirana. That's what Rupa Goswami describes. And what he came to give Anarpitam Charim Chirat. Something, he came to give something which is anarpita. Arpita means to bestow. Anarpita means which has never ever been bestowed. Chiram Chirat, to the ultimate time. Like we say when we give a blessing, we say Chiranjeevi Bhava. Chiram means Antakal, Chirkal tak, right? To the endless time. May you have that longevity of life. So here is saying that Chiram Chirat means for so many ages after ages, this something which has not ever been bestowed, Mahaprabhu came to bestow that thing. What that thing is, Rupa Goswami will describe later, but something which has never been bestowed. We all know that Mahaprabhu comes only once in life, or once in a day of a Brahma, one kalpa. And one kalpa of Brahma is actually 1,000 Divya Yugas. One Divya Yuga is one Satya, one Dwapar, one Treta, and one Kali Yuga. That all four comprise to be one Divya Yuga. And 1,000 such Divya Yugas comprise one day of Brahma. And that's also one night, which is separate. So in that one day of Brahma, Mahaprabhu comes and gives this. What he gives this? Samarpayitum. He gives. Arpita, arpayam means to give, right? Again. But samarpayam means completely. When the word sam is added as a prefix, it means completely. So not partially, but completely he wants to give. What he wants to give? Unnata Ujjvala Rasam. He wants to give that rasa, that mellow of devotional service, which is Unnata Ujjvala. Ujjvala Rasa is actually a Madhurya Rasa. So he is, another name of Mahaprabhu is also Ujjvala Rasananda. Why? Because he is Ananda, he is bliss in that Ujjval Rasa, in that Madhurya Rasa. So this Ujjval Rasa he came to give, to bestow, which is Unnata, which is the highest. He has not come to give the mellow of Dwarkavasis or even the Vrajvasis in Sakhya Bhav or in Shanta Bhav or in Dasya Bhav or in Sakhya Bhav. No, he has come to bestow the Unnata Ujjvala, the highest, which is the Madhurya Bhav, which is the mood of Srimati Radharani and all the gopis towards Lord Shri Krishna. That bhav he has come to bestow. That rasa he has come to bestow. And that rasa is what? Then he says, it is Swabhakti Shriyam. Shriyam means the treasure. And it is the treasure of his own bhakti. Why? Because Srimati Radharani is always absorbed in the mood of Krishna bhakti. And our Gauranga Mahaprabhu is who? He is Krishna himself. Though he has taken the dviti and the mood, the complexion and the mood of Srimati Radharani, but still, he is Krishna. Gauranga Mahaprabhu is Krishna. Antar Krishna, Bahar Gauranga, right? Bahar Gauranga, Antar Krishna. That's what our Mahaprabhu is. So he has come to bestow his swabhakti, his own bhakti. He has come to just, he's calling out everybody to come and take this treasure of my own bhakti. Just like a drunkard man who doesn't know what he's bestowing and to whom he's giving his password. So same, our Gauranga Mahaprabhu is intoxicated in Krishna Prem, and he doesn't know, he's not seeing any eligibility, any place of whatsoever, whether the person is eligible or not. Patra, na dekhi, sthana. He is not considering the eligibility of anyone, but he's simply bestowing his mercy, and that highest mercy which has never been bestowed ever. for a very, very long time, it has never been bestowed. That mercy, that unnat ujjvala rasa, that mellow of bhakti, Mahaprabhu is coming and he is bestowing. And the last he's bestowing, Rupa Goswami is giving the Falashruti, that Sada Hridaya Khandare Spuratu Va Sachinandana. May that Lord Sachinandana, Sada means always, recite, Hridaya Khandare Spuratu. Spuratu means he becomes manifest in the Khandare. Khandare means the caves of our heart. Right? Sada Hridaya Khandare Spurato. May that Lord Sachinandana always manifest in the caves of the hearts. Then the most important point is Vah. So he's saying, not mine, but your. Vah means something, your. May, so what Rupa Goswami, whenever some poet or some writer, when he writes, he says, give mercy to me, or I am the most fallen, I beg for your mercy, I beg for your sidelong glance. This is how the mood is. But our Srila Rupa Goswami very beautifully says that whosoever recites this verse, whosoever will memorize this verse, and then Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, when he adds this to his Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says, whosoever will read this Chaitanya Charitamrita, and specifically this verse, Sada Hridaya, that Sachinandana will always reside in their hearts. So Rupa Goswami says, just when you recite this verse, which is the Nandish, which is glorification of my Ishtadev, when somebody recites, then in their hearts, Sachinandana, who is Lord Hari, who is Gaura Hari, who has come to bestow this highest rasa, will reside in the heart, in the caves of your hearts. Sada Hridaya Khandare Spurato Vah Sachinandana. Okay, so let's read the translation. May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Sachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost core of your heart. See, he's saying, not in my heart, but the innermost core of your heart. Whosoever who is listening to this verse, reading this verse, reciting this verse, memorizing this verse, that Supreme Lord Sachinandana will reside in their heart. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, Tattha Kanchana, he has descended in this age of Kali, Kalau, by his causeless mercy, Karunavatirana, to bestow, which no incarnation has ever offered, Anarpitam Charam Chirat. And what is that? The most elevated mellow of devotional service, Unnata Ujjvala Rasam, the mellow of conjugal love. So that mellow Mahaprabhu has come to bestow. So we'll stop here. I know I took little 10 minutes extra, but this verse was so beautiful. And that also describes the identity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And also, so we covered so many points. We covered the importance of how the devotees consider this entire world as Sukhalayam, but that can only be possible by the sidelong glance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. And then we discussed about the importance of dance, that how dancing in Kirtan is so important, and more important is in the mood that we dance in the Sankirtan and in the Kirtan. And the third one that we discussed is about the mellows of devotional service that Mahaprabhu especially came, the identity of Mahaprabhu that he came to bestow on this age of Kali Yuga, especially to us who are Kali Yuga rejects. Okay, so thank you all so much. We will stop here and let's see if we have any quick questions.
Hare Krishna, Kirtida Sundari Mataji. What a beautiful, beautiful class, most awaited class. I know it was really hard with your situation, your voice, and your condition.
No way. I'm happy to.
But I'm very happy that you did the class. And I really enjoyed the entire class, the way you walked us through the entire class. My favorite for today was, of course, about how everything is Sukham. That is very nice. And your description of Gaura Hari as the lion, it was so vivid in my, it was like so vivid that it was easily, I could visualize like that. So thank you so much. Very meditative, very, very sweet verses and very sweet explanation of all these verses. Thank you again. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Preeti Vilasni Mataji. It's because of your push that I also feel enthusiastic in giving classes. Otherwise, it's not my subject matter. And I always feel that, no, I'm not of that standard, not of that caliber. But you always inspire me, you always enthuse me. So really, really grateful to you that you help me to myself to read Caitanya Bhagavata, to read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We always relate Lord Chaitanya's pastimes in your classes, Mataji, very easily. So definitely it's of your caliber. Definitely.
No, but thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Kirtida Sundari Mataji. Thank you so much for such a beautiful class, Mataji. And one point that struck me was when you were talking about dancing in front of the deities, and so often I have heard Nityananda Prabhu. He always says we must dance in front of the deities. So, and as you said, it has to be so natural, because I've seen devotees like you feel, how can this person not dance when if not a love for Krishna, but the tune will be so beautiful, how can you not dance? And then, yes, as you said, it has to be natural. And the fact that any service that we do not do it for anybody else but for Krishna, and for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. It's such an important mood. And the more we hear it again and again, maybe someday when I can imbibe it, I do it everything for showing others then to Krishna. So please bless me and pray for me that I may imbibe that mood, that I'm not dancing for anybody to show that how good of a dancer I am, but just for Krishna's pleasure. So with that, I would request the devotees, if you have any question, query, or any comment, please go ahead and share and your realization. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Anuradha Mataji. Yes, we are not dancing to show our own steps and all, but we are dancing it just for Krishna, so that we can invoke his mercy. And as you said, yes, Nityananda Prabhu always used to say that just leave all your shyness and just dance in front of deities, how important it is. Yes. So even if we don't dance it, at least our heart should dance. Thank you. Okay, anyone else has anything?
हरे कृष्णा कीर्तिदा सुंदरी माता जी, श्रील प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, श्री राधा गोपीनाथ की जय. Mataji, day by day, Mataji, from first day you are working hard to give a Krishna consciousness to all of us, and your heart is so pure, your japa is maybe so sincere that whatever you say, whatever you teach us, word to word we memorize, Mataji. That that Radha Kanta, Gopi Kanta, Sankirtana और कीर्तन में डूब जाना है, Mataji. That is and that is very. That is very, Mataji, बहुत बहुत मन को अच्छा लगा. And yesterday Srila Prabhupada disciple Gopal's Prabhuji's class, Gopal's Prabhuji's, please forgive me, he said that we have to open our two gates. That gates are our ears. And we have to hear Krishna Katha from our senior Vaishnava, Mataji. आप इतनी अंतर से, Mataji, आप बहुत खुश हो के कृष्ण कथा कह रहे थे कि वो डायरेक्टली टच टू ईच एंड एवरी वैष्णवा's हार्ट, माताजी. श्रील प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, गोपीनाथ की जय, जय जय नित्यानंदा, जय जय गौरांगा. थैंक यू, माताजी. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर योर डीप डीप डिवोशनल एसोसिएशन. श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय, कीर्तिदा सुंदरी माताजी की जय. थैंक यू, माताजी.
Thank you, Mataji. If any of my words pleased any of you, that it's all coming out from my Gurudev. So no credit goes to me. But thank you for all your encouraging words. Definitely, I have no purity in my chanting, but just simply the repeating the words of our acharyas, repeating the words of Srila Prabhupada, and whatever I heard from my Guru Vargas.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Gaurangi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Oh, please accept mine also. When you were explaining this Narahari name from the Gaur Arti, Yeah, I did understand all the reasons why we call Lord Gauranga, why we compare him to lion. But this term Gaur Hari, obviously, Gaur means golden and Hari means, to steal away. But the Gaur Hari itself, or not Gaur Hari, I mean Nada Hari. Nada means human. How does that word itself correlate to lion, if it does at all? I missed that part.
When we call out to Lord Nrsingadev, we say Narahari, right?
Yes.
Hari Jayo Narahari. So Nara means human. How Lord Nrsingadev came as half human, half Nara, half lion. So Narahari, he came as Nara, as a human being, and he also came as Hari, as lion. So I was telling that somebody can ask, like, how do you know that Hari means lion? Is when allowed to Nrsingadev, we say Narahari. So Hari means lion.
Oh, it's only because of we're referring to Nrsingadev when we say Narahari, really, then. Okay. Yeah, I did hear that, but I was thinking maybe I missed the breakdown of that word, I said maybe Hari means lion, I don't know. But yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. And thank you so much I was feeling so sorry for you during the class. You sound like you feel so bad. So thank you especially for giving class today.
I'm not at all sick in my spirits, but these
Hare
are
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Kirtida Sundari Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
When you give class, your cold and cough and everything runs away in a high speed. Very nice.
Thank you so much, Kaumadiki Mataji. Thank you for your blessings.
Very nice. Thank you. I didn't feel at all, and you didn't feel, and it didn't have to do that also like you just did, and you just go on. It's very, very wonderful. That's what it's saying. It's a proof, isn't it?
What, Mataji?
It is a proof.
It's a proof.
Solid proof.
No.
Because, it cures everything.
Yes, it cures everything. That's true. Thank you.
I think you should do every day and every time. It would be nice. You get more and more nectar. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
Mataji, you can take over.
Okay, Mataji. So if there is no more question or anybody having any more realization to share.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Pranam Mataji, very, very beautiful class. I agree with Kaumadiki Mataji that, when you speak Krishna Katha, everything is cleared. See, now you are so healthy. Then the class started. All your cough and everything is gone. No more cough. And the way you explain it, Mataji, with so much of love and devotion, it automatically the person who is sitting hearing the class is not motivated to hear also. They automatically get motivated by hearing your enthusiastic voice, Mataji. Thank you so much for always making us so enthusiastic to listen to Krishna Katha. Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Nita Gandharvika Mataji. Thank you for your sincerity. The real reason that class or any instructions or any pastime or anything related to Krishna goes inside is not because of the speaker, it's because of the heart of the listener. The listener, the sincerity in the heart of listener motivates the speaker, and the Krishna Katha side. The speaker can speak to many people, but how many of them are absorbed in hearing depends upon their sincerity, right? So our glories to all the listeners. Speaker speaks and goes, right? But the listener has to get absorbed. So thank you, Mataji. It is all because of your sincerity, that enthusiasm that is coming in you. It's all because of you yourself. No credit to me.
Yes, speaker speaks and goes and leaves the track.
Speaker speaks and goes.
And leaves the track so we can follow. Thank you. Very, very wonderful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes, Anuradha. Okay.
Yes, so everybody's permission and Kirtida Sundari Mataji's permission, we would like to close the call by offering our obeisances to Mataji. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvescha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namo. We wish you all well, Mataji. You get well very soon, and we want to. Your classes are anyway nectarian, but it's even better when you're feeling externally also well, along with your spiritual wellness. So we wish and pray that you get well soon, very well, very soon, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you for your prayers, but I can tell you the reason, what is the reason of my sore throat is because on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was in Capital Kirtan, which was I was shouting on the top of my voice. It's not supporting.
It is all worth it, Mataji.
That's why I said that in spirits I'm high because I attended that Kirtan. But the sore throat, the reason is because I shouted in the Kirtan with a loud ringing of Hare Krishna.
All glories, Mataji, all glories to Sankirtan.
And that's why you gave a class. So then you gave a nectar, then it also goes away.
The topic was also the same, dancing and chanting and Kirtan. What I did.
Yeah. Thank you for your wonderful association, Mataji. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we, Sri Caitanya Bhagavata ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Her Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji ki jai, Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premananda. Thank you, dear devotees. We will close the call now. Thank you for your
Thank you
assistance.
so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.